We have another bonus episode for you this week as earnings season is running hot. Way more beats than anyone expected. The question now, which stocks are about to deliver the next big surprise? Welcome back to Navellier Market Buzz. With CE. Two big beats in a row. Do you see another one coming?
So before we get into specific stocks, I do want to just reiterate that we're showing a bespoke chart that illustrates that sales and earnings are beating higher than normal right now. But this is a good time to remind everybody that the good earnings come out early, the bad earnings tend to come out a little later. So we would expect that to decay just a bit. Obviously, the grand finale for earnings season will be Nvidia, followed by Costco for us. But a good example of a stock that is going to be in a more precarious situation is Celanese. Now, this is a company that makes vinyl chloride, and their sales are supposed to drop 6.3%. Earnings are supposed to drop 41.2%. The company has posted big earnings surprises in the past couple quarters, so they could eke out a gain, but I think all the disruptions with global trade and everything might be impacting their bottom.
Now for GILD, do you expect that they'll pull another surprise?
Well, Gilead, of course, Gilead is famous for curing the hepatitis virus, which so they save a lot of lives. And but they're kind of a one-product company. They've tried to diversify. Their sales are supposed to be up 0.2%. Their earnings supposed to drop 2.7%. This company usually surprises, pays a pretty big dividend, but it's mostly a dividend stock.
Now, Cardinal Health has had steady growth, but what do you expect for them?
Well, the healthcare industry has been a really tough sector, but Cardinal Health is one of the leaders. They're forecasted to post 1.8% sales growth and 10.4% earnings increase. The Analyst Committee has revised their consensus estimates higher, so that's a good sign that they're probably going to surprise, and they have a good earnings surprise history.
Now for Cisco, another one that has solid growth, but do you think it could outperform?
Yes, it's being lifted by all the data centers and the increased networking out there and speeding up the internet. But their sales are forecast to grow 7.2%. Earnings are forecast to grow 12.3%. The Analyst Committee has been revising their earnings estimates higher. So I am expecting a surprise from Cisco, and they have a good surprise history.
Now, AMCR has huge sales jumps, but is it finally time for a win?
You know, this is a packaging company in the UK, and they make all kinds of specialty packaging. And their sales are supposed to be up 46.2%. That's forecast from the Analyst Committee, but they're only expecting 1.2% earnings growth. So this company has an erratic earnings surprise history, but I'm expecting that those strong sales will help them eke out an earnings surprise.
Now, Applied Materials, can they keep it up?
Well, they're in a good sector. Their sales are forecasted to go up 5.4%. Earnings are supposed to be up 11.3%. The Analyst Committee has been revising their earnings estimates higher, and they have a good earnings surprise history, so they should surprise. And again, they're in a good sector, the semiconductor area.
John Deere has been struggling quite a bit, but what do you expect for them?
Well, yeah, John Deere, just so everybody knows, has been struggling because a lot of the farmers out in America can't just upgrade their tractors and everything. And that's literally caused by all the net zero initiatives to go to organic fertilizer from chemical fertilizer like potash or nitrogen. And then, of course, farmers in Europe had to give up 30% of their land. They had to cull their herds. And that's why there were farm protests all over Europe. So this really screwed up their business. And then, of course, they did move a lot of their manufacturing to Mexico and have layoffs at 3 of their facilities. And, of course, now Trump wants all that manufacturing to come back to America. So Deere's had its hands full. But their sales are forecasted to decline 9.3%. Earnings are forecast to decline 27.6%, and the analyst community has cut their estimates. However, Deere did post a big first quarter earnings surprise, so they might be able to eke out a second quarter surprise. We've had a lot of rain in America. Wheat, corn, soybean production should be very, very high, and hopefully that helps Deere.
Now, next week, can you talk about what you expect for the CPI, PPI, and retail sales reports?
Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be the 6th month in a row where the inflation expectations come in below economists' estimates. It's amazing that what's going on. I don't think they realize that there's a global economic slowdown, prices are under pressure, China's got deflation, obviously we got energy prices lower temporarily, not in June, they spiked because of the heat wave, but I do think that things will come in tame. Now, obviously in the CPI, it's all owner's equivalent rent. That's been 90% inflation. We still want that to crack. It did slow down last month to 0.2%, but if we can get rental costs down, that would be a huge relief, and then and we will rally immensely off that. PPI is much more interesting because it's we've had deflation in recent months. Last month was flat as a pancake, totally unchanged. Then it was up in May, and then down in April and March. So we'll see. And retail sales, we just got to see if consumers are in a good mood. You know, it's I always look at what categories they're spending at, and bars and restaurants are always very, very important because it shows they have some disposable income. But based on all the economic data that we're getting, it looks like things have slowed down. That should keep inflationary pressures down, and it looks like retail sales may not be that strong, but we shall see. But I would add that, we've had phenomenal surprises. Axon, Kinross Gold, IDR, that's another gold stock that we recommend. Niagen Biosciences, NAGE, Paymentus, helps people with their credit and all. And they provide credit cards to companies. And of course, Palantir was probably the strongest earnings report, Palantir Technologies. Sezzle also had a pretty impressive sales growth, but there was some confusion because their overall earnings fell, but their operating earnings rose. So there are computers that read the earnings releases, and they hit Sezzle because they weren't looking at operating earnings, and they should have been. So that was unfortunate. So I think Sezzle will come roaring back.
Now let's answer some subscriber questions. One of our subscribers wanted to know what your thoughts were on Eli Lilly right now.
Yeah, that is interesting. They beat, but they had a poor trial for their pill-based GLP-1, and so the stock just got shot on that. So technically, Eli Lilly's wounded. It's also under the threat of the Trump trying to get the drug costs down. But Eli Lilly is doing what Trump wants. They're onshoring, okay? And they're moving their manufacturing back to America. And they still dominate GLP-1 drugs. And so I'm very, very comfortable with them. And I'm sure they'll come up with another formula for a GLP-1 pill.
And what about SMCI?
Yeah, Supermicro, I laid an egg on that. Their sales growth was up 7.5%, but their operating results weren't as strong as some people wanted, and their guidance wasn't as strong as some people wanted. The issue with SMCI, Supermicrocomputer, is that their order backlog is huge. It's 4+ years. People are so desperate for the Nvidia chips, they've pre-ordered a lot of it through Supermicro. So because their order backlog's good, I'm going to stick with the company. I'm still up for 750% in it. I don't want to pay the capital gains. So I'm riding it out with this. But when these good stocks get hit, the Lillys, the Supermicros, the Sezzles, they are good buys. But you do get profit taking during earnings season, even if they beat. Supermicro's case, they They did not beat, but that order backlog is going to keep me in the stock.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Thank you to you all again for watching. Hope you enjoyed this bonus segment. Make sure to watch the other video that we posted this week. Until then, we'll see you all next Sunday for a new video. Thanks so much, everyone.